Hey everyone, this is Callie speaking with AOD from State 309. We are back today to speak about the Alliance Trials. When we first get into the Alliance Trial, the officers have a choice to determine the level that they want to begin on. Our max level that we're able to is 13, but with 13 you are unable to use Lady M, and that is one of our favorites heroes to use as part of the Alliance Trials. So with this, we chose level 12 this week, and as you can tell, it is the green NPC. Red counters green, so you will see that as part of my hero lineup, I have 3 red heroes. The most important hero here today is Lady M, and I'll go into detail while we are working on the puzzle. I've also got Natalie, which we spoke of before, which again, same reason I had her before. She is a huge attack boost when it comes down to it. We've also got Phoenix. Phoenix here puts on a dot or damage over time. It is fire based, and it lasts over, I actually don't know how many rounds without looking at her stats right now, but it lasts for a little while. And then I have chosen Dara, which will essentially give a little bit of a reset to the board, or at least one line to the board when used. And then I have Leah, which will extend the attempts by 4 more once I am out of luck, essentially 4 more attempts after that. So the reason I chose Phoenix over McCarty, who has also a dot, but it is poison, is because, once again, it's similar to the other video I posted about Mars putting an attack boost. With McCarty, if you look at this, he also increases the attack of your allies by 34%, which will overwrite Natalie's attack boost. So I do not use McCarty as long as I have Natalie in the group. I will say that if I don't use Natalie, or if you do not have the hero for to use, it would be a good idea to instead use McCarty, who does the poison. But, I mean, that is your choice. You can choose either McCarty or Phoenix and McCarty, but not Dara. It really depends on your hero strengths and all of that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started using my best hero setup, at least that I have found personally. So, obviously, we want to get started. I like to get Lady M ready to go as quickly as possible. So I am looking for more yellows and being able to use her. I'm not going to use her ability yet, but I want to get it ready too. So I have now, and I've also got Natalie available, but I don't want to use her yet. I will explain a little bit later why I didn't use her just yet, but I want to make mention that you'll notice I have a bunch of yellows here. However, I do not want to use them yet. I want to have them ready for the very next time that I could eventually use Lady M. So at this stage, I am not necessarily trying to boost any extra damage. I am just trying to save every yellow that I can. But I am also looking out for creating a damage boost here. Now, okay, so I've done all of my rounds. You will see that the rage buff, not the rage buff, the rage bar is available. So here I would like to use Lady M. Now, as you can tell, the majority of my heroes are pretty high level, so I will be eating one of his attacks. If you have a lot lower heroes, you will want to have a rage reduction. So you might actually choose Mars over Natalie in this case, because you don't want to lose any heroes in the first bet. So I've used Lady M. There's her, you notice the debuff here on the giant spider, where it cannot gain rage. And that is 4 rounds. So once again, I do expect to get hit once because I do not have a rage reducer hero. But it's at this stage that I'm going to start using Natalie and the rest of my heroes. You will see that I am on round 11 and I now have damage increase plus 10. So at this stage, my priority, well, first I want to go ahead and use Natalie and then use Phoenix. I am not ready to use Dara because if I use Dara right now, it will reset the board in a certain way that I don't have control over. And right now I have a load of yellows that I am very interested in keeping. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to go ahead and do this so that I have a nice set of yellows. I still want to get the Lady M ready to go, so I am going to also oops, that wasn't quite what I was expecting, but that worked too. So when I have Lady M ready, I've got, I believe, 2 more rounds of rage, where it cannot gain rage. I can also go ahead and use Phoenix again. You will also notice I still have a 120% increase, so I am going to, even though the dot is still on the boss, I still want to go ahead and use Phoenix and give a little bit more damage. At this point, I have loads of yellows on the board, so once again, I am not personally ready to go ahead and use Dara, so I will still keep her. We are now on round 13, where the damage is continuously to increase by a certain percentage each round, which essentially means my damage, even just from hitting that green boss there, or with the green tiles, is more damage than it was the previous rounds. And then I still have one more attempt at the puzzle before he would lose the debuff and he would start to gain rage. So once again, my strategy here isn't as much as doing damage as quickly as possible. It is maintaining the rage debuff, which I am just doing it again right now. I now have 4 more rounds. I want to get Lady M back to where I need to be. You'll notice I still have this yellow, the yellow, I forgot what they're actually called, but this little one right here, I don't want to use that if I don't have to. I like to keep it for an in-case situation. Instead, I'm actually going to miss the boss on purpose to gain rage quicker. And then I want to try this and hope that that's enough in 2 rounds. Well, it wasn't, but actually, luckily I had another one come through. So I now have 2 more rounds to get things ready. So Natalie is now no attack buff, but I am just about ready to start using her again. Instead, I don't have any good reds yet, so I'm just going to keep going for the moment. And again, the longer you go, the more damage this is increasing. So that's 80% right there. I'm going to go ahead and do that just to clear some of the board. And now I'm back out of rage debuffs, so here I go again. Right now I do not have a great board with yellows, so I think at this stage I'm going to go ahead and use this to get started. I hope to get another yellow that will help make this go before I... Oh, so far not so good. I'm gonna go ahead and use that, and still not good. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use that. When you do use Dara that way, you do not gain rage in any way with any of the tiles that go through. So that is a little tip there. Just be wary of that. which is also why I don't like to do that. Use her except when I need to. I'm also not using Leah, but again, this is for the reason of extending later. I am hoping that if I hit this one, I might, again, I did not get it, Lady M ready yet. So right now I have no rage boost, and I also do not, a rage debuff on there anyway, and Lady M is not ready. So I'm going to call my Leah and hope that I can at least extend this for another 4 rounds. I might even get lucky to do more than that, but that is not the case this time, unfortunately. So I'm going to keep going for a few more rounds and get as much damage as I can, and this will be my last bit. Ooh, I actually have one more. However, I don't have anything that would give a strong amount of damage. So that was my very first attempt. This time, instead of explaining too much, I'm going to go ahead and just keep going. And you might see some tips just from watching on my strategy. Sometimes I get extremely lucky, and other times I do not get anywhere near lucky, unfortunately. We will do our best to get this to work, though. Just trying to decide which way. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to determine which one I want to do because I don't want to screw up the board by accident. Sometimes even I will look at this when I notice there's only 1 round left before he's able to attack. So I might actually be more lucky if I go ahead and start using Lady M this time, so I can start adjusting her, or rather getting more rage earned during this time. And I would prefer to get that prepared. Oh, there, he did have his rage bar that time. We have 2 more rounds where he cannot, so I believe this will be enough to do that. Now I will go ahead and use Natalie, and then I will use Phoenix, and I'm going to go ahead and use my red since we do have a great attack buff going right now, and you can see a huge amount there that just happened. I have some great yellows in here. I do not want to use Dara yet. I'm going to continue to, well, I want to use Lady M now, actually. So here's that. I am also going to use the Miss one so I can for sure get her up. And now it's in the left corner, which is great. And then I will keep going for now. What are we on now? We are on 70% damage, round 17. We still have another round to go here. I'm just trying to decide which way I want to go. Okay, and now I need to use her. gonna do another miss on purpose. That gives me about half, actually a little more than half rage bar already, which probably means I can do this. And there's just a sliver left, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a single yellow and a red at the same time. But before I do use a red, I want to get my Natalie attack buff back up again. We are also on round 20 already with 100% damage, which is great. And here we are. So that was actually a decent combo. You can see my damage is getting higher and higher, just sitting there doing not too much. Now, Natalie has regained strength, but we still have 100%. We have 4 rounds. So I'm going to ignore that for now. And I intend, I think at this stage, I'm just going to use my blues here. Okay. And now I will use my rage bar. I still have some rounds left, so I'm not going to use Natalie right now. I don't have a whole lot of yellows yet, so I am going to see what I can do in hopes to get enough. Well, I'm just making sure one more time. One more round of 100%. Okay, I still have, I think, at least one more round, and I hope this should be enough right here without having to use my left corner, which is great. Now I can use this one again. Natalie is ready. And keep going. So at this stage, I don't have a whole lot of yellows. I will probably end up needing to use the yellow bomb thing-majig. Sorry, I don't actually know the name of it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to use the yellow, which is great that it already got her back up and running. And now I'm going to use that. Now you'll notice that I literally only have one yellow left, so I am going to use Dara now. And hope that it has, ooh, good. So I can do a miss on purpose here, and then I can go ahead and do this and hope that, ooh, not quite, but this one will do it, and I can get a green as well. So we are back to Lady M. Keep in mind I am now up to round 34, damage 240%. We are at, Natalie has no additional attack at the moment, so I can use her as soon as I have some reds that I want to use. Not looking great on yellows just yet, but I will keep going. That is hope. Okay, so this is unfortunate. I am out of the, he's going to gain rage this time. I have two choices. I can use Natalie and hope to get a little bit extra damage before she dies, and hope that it doesn't go on the last two. Or I can hope for, I'm just gonna wing it and hope Lady M lasts another round. She did, which means I get one additional round, but that's not really that much. But I did not get Dara's reset, so that was a risk. I had to make a choice, and unfortunately I chose wrong this time. So that's all right. We'll just keep going. And now this time I did 23 million. There are times that I can get, I've seen 75 million in one attempt. I have a feeling while I'm recording, I'm not paying as close attention to what I'm actually supposed to be doing, so I don't do as well. But without making this too much of a longer video, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. Please let me know your comments. This is very much a raw recording as I am doing this. So let me know what you think, and hopefully you learned some things from here. Thank you. Bye.